Reeing groceries. Noticing the tense atmosphere, she asked, "What's going on here?" "I just stepped out to shop, and now it's chaos in here." "What are you two arguing about?" Mr. Carter shot back, "You handpicked her for Eric. Look what she's done, letting us raise someone else's kid for 3 years. Where were your eyes back then?" Mrs. Carter froze, her gaze falling on the report on the floor. I saw a flicker of panic cross her face, but before I could react, she slapped me. "Noah isn't our grandson? How could you do this? Our Eric's been nothing but good to you. How could you betray us like this?" Mr. Carter joined in. "Call your parents. I want to know what kind of people raised such a daughter. How dare you do something so disgraceful?" I fought to stay composed. "I'm telling you for the last time, Noah is Eric's son. If you don't believe me, wait until Eric comes home. He can take another DNA test with Noah, and we'll put this nonsense to rest." Mr. Carter glared but said nothing, while Mrs. Carter shouted, "You're acting shamelessly, still insisting on your innocence. Even if Eric comes back, he won't forgive you. Why another test when the answer is clear? If Noah were Eric's son, he'd have to be related to Mr. Carter. What, you think the hospital is helping you lie to us?" Just as I was about to argue back, Noah wandered out of his room. "Grandpa, Grandma, Mom, why are you fighting? Is dinner ready?" Seeing him, Mr. Carter snapped, "Who are you calling Grandpa and Grandma? We don't know whose kid you even are. Get out." Noah, bewildered by his grandparents' sudden change, ran to me in tears. His crying only irritated Mr. Carter more. He yanked Noah away from me and gripped his shoulders. "What are you crying for? You're not welcome here. Go find your real dad, get out of our house." Mrs. Carter stood frozen, saying nothing. Seeing Noah's face turn red, I pried Mr. Carter's hand off him and held him close. My own tears began to fall. "Let's wait for Eric to come home. He'll know whether Noah is his son." Finally, Mr. Carter released him, shot me a disdainful look, and stomped back to his room. I took Noah to our bedroom and quickly texted Eric about everything that had happened. His reply was just 4 cold words, "I'm on my way." That terse message gave me a bad feeling. Eric got home around midnight. Hearing the front door, I covered Noah and left the room to meet him. Seeing him only brought out all my pent-up frustration. "Do you know what your dad did to Noah today?" He nearly choked him. "Are you even going to say something? Can you give it a rest? I just got home. Let me breathe, will you?" One look at his detached expression, and my heart sank. The DNA report lay on the table, but he didn't seem the least bit interested in looking at it. He was ready to accept it at face value. By now, both Mr. and Mrs. Carter had joined us. Mrs. Carter spoke first. "Eric, thank God you're back. If you'd been any later, our family would be fallen apart. Ask her whose child she brought into this house." Mr. Carter stood there with a furious expression, saying nothing. Finally, Eric broke the silence. "Where's the child?" He called Noah the child, not by his name. That stung because I realized he didn't believe Noah was his son. I took a steadying breath. "Eric, we've been married 4 years and known each other for 6. Don't you know what kind of person I am? If you won't believe me, at least believe in Noah." Eric replied, "For years doesn't mean anything. Besides, Noah has never looked like me. Everyone's been saying it. What else am I supposed to think?"